And we are live. Hello, one and all, and welcome to my review for last night's edition of SmackDown Live, the December 13th, 2016 edition of SmackDown. As the year is coming to a close, we only have 2 more episodes of SmackDown to round out the year of 2016. So last night's show, of course, we're kind of in a holding pattern. We still have a number of weeks till the Royal Rumble, about 6 or 7 to be exact. And overall, last night, I did enjoy SmackDown as I usually do. It is just a much easier sit through, a much easier watch compared to 3 hours of Raw. So I give him credit on that. While I did enjoy Raw slightly more, I still thought SmackDown this week was a solid show. Was it the best show? No, but it did enough that it kept me entertained throughout the 2 hours. It didn't overstay its welcome. And we had the establishment of a new number 1 contender, a battle royale to determine the number 1 contenders for the tag team championships, ongoing issues between the SmackDown women's championship scene. So there was a lot to, talk about, no pun intended, about SmackDown last night. So if you're watching live today, guys, in the live chat, or if you're watching afterwards, be sure to leave your comments down below in the comments section about what you thought of SmackDown last night. What did you like? What didn't you like? And what do you see going forward for the Blue brand as we head closer and closer? I can't wait for the Royal Rumble season. And then, of course, we will be on the road to WrestleMania. So things will definitely be picking up in no time. But speaking of picking up, let's talk about how SmackDown kicked off tonight, or should I say last night. And as you can tell, I, of course, am dealing with a cold. And also, it appears that James Ellsworth has the exact same sickness that I have been plagued with. Oh, what are the odds? He was sniffing. He was coughing. I know the feeling. He was sneezing everywhere. And Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon pretty much said, James Ellsworth, you're sick as a dog. Just take the night off and get the hell out of here. And before he left, Ellsworth, of course, coughed all over Daniel Bryan. And then Shane McMahon, of course, handy as ever with that hand sanitizer soap. So makes the save for DB. But the match that was supposed to take place tonight, I keep saying tonight, last night was supposed to be AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth. As you all know, Styles is currently dealing with a minor ankle injury, so they're going to continue to monitor that and just take the necessary precautions. You don't want to rush AJ back too soon. You don't want to turn this minor ankle injury into something that could be much more severe. So, we have a number 1 contender, which we will talk about for the WWE Championship. Styles has a match against James Ellsworth, and when that match does finally happen, Ellsworth is going to get the holy, ever-loving, living shit beat out of him. AJ should just go in there and wipe the floor completely clean of James Ellsworth. Ellsworth has had a nice run. It has gotten a little repetitive towards the end of this thing with him constantly winning and whatnot, I think that is just the necessary path that you take this. You just have Styles go in there, show Ellsworth who is boss, wipe the floor with him, beat him down as viciously as you can, helps put further heat on Styles, and then hopefully what I would like to see happen is a feud with The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble, because it was interesting. Tonight, the way we kicked off SmackDown was Miz TV. Miz had special guests on, AJ Styles. So the 2 top champions on SmackDown Live were in the same ring at the same time. Pretty cool sight to see. And AJ, it was interesting. When The Miz invited him out, he pretty much told The Miz, he's beaten John Cena a number of times. He has now beaten Dean Ambrose, many, many times. And Styles says he's the champ that runs the camp. He's the most prestigious champion on SmackDown Live. And who else is on his level? Who else is there left for AJ Styles to face? And when I heard this, I got a smile on my face because I hope that this is the beginning of planting the seeds for Styles, pretty much saying that there are no other challengers left to face him. And come, whether it is in a couple weeks or so, that gong rings, the Phenom faces the Phenomenal One in the ring and says, you say there's no more challengers left for you? Well, I'm the dead man. and I can challenge for that championship anytime, any place that I want to. The dead man throws down a challenge for you, AJ Styles. At the Royal Rumble, The Undertaker wants to go one-on-one with the best in the business today for the WWE Championship, to see if the dead man has what it takes in him to hold on to that championship one more time. So I think that's the way you would set it up. Like I said, whether that is the final SmackDown of the year, we could possibly, I'm predicting that we might see The Undertaker return the first SmackDown of the year, because we're getting Goldberg returning on the first Raw of the year. So things will definitely be picking up come New Year's. So I look forward to hopefully that match being announced for the Royal Rumble at the Alamodome. That would be a tremendous, tremendous main event, whether it's that or the Rumble match itself. Either one of those would be a great main event for that show. But Miz also talked about in this segment the fact that he beat Dean Ambrose, and, maybe that the Miz should challenge AJ Styles. Miz was trying to get up in Styles' face, and he pretty much said, well, I'm pretty much above your level, AJ. Eventually, Dean Ambrose would come down to the ring. Dolph Ziggler would make his way to the ring. And eventually a brawl would break out between Miz and Ziggler. Miz would hit Ziggler in the gut. Skull-crushing finale. Ambrose comes in, kicks Miz in the gut, hits him with dirty deeds. Eventually, Styles walks to the back, and Ambrose drops Ziggler with dirty deeds, and Luke Harper would come out and drop Ambrose with a discus clothesline. So complete chaos breaking down. Later on, Daniel Bryan would announce we would have a fatal four-way match, which was a nice setup for the main event, to determine who the number one contender would be to face AJ Styles December 27th, the final SmackDown of the year in Chicago, Illinois. I like the way they did that, seeing as how we have a while till the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Makes sense, announce a title match on a SmackDown show. And, just good stuff all around here. Not the best intro, but it was solid enough to set up for what we had later on in the night for the main event. Apologize for that brief pause, but back here for my SmackDown review. Let's talk about what took place next. We had our first match of the evening, Carmella versus Natalya. Decent match, was really more about the involvement of Nikki Bella at ringside, and Natalya pretty much saying to Nikki that, no, I was not the one that attacked you. Carmella is just spewing venomous lies. And, decent back and forth action in the ring between Natalya and Carmella. Eventually, as Natalya was trying to tell Nikki, her side of the story, Carmella would get the victory with a small package roll-up. And I still think this leads to, we know Mickie James is going to be returning on the SmackDown brand come January. And I still think I would love to see Mickie James be revealed as the attacker for Nikki Bella. And it could make sense, seeing as how Mickie James was with WWE Survivor Series weekend. She was in Canada. So, hey, you just fill in the gaps right there. Boom, she returns, reveals herself as the attacker of Nikki Bella, and you're off to the races there. That's what I'd like to see happen, and I hope it does, because I called that on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. That's the idea I proposed, and we'll have to see if WWE goes that route. But, yeah, I'm intrigued to seeing, where this story goes. After this, we then had the Battle Royale to determine the number one contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, to see who would face the Wyatt family. It was Breezango versus Heath Slater and Rhino versus the Vaudevillains versus the Hype Bros versus the Ascension versus the American Alpha. Usos were still out dealing with an injury, so that's why we did not see them participate in the Battle Royale tonight. But I thought Jason Jordan really shined nicely in this match after his partner Chad Gable was eliminated. Jordan just, he picked up, I believe it was Aiden English. He launched him up into the air, and he slammed hard down into the mat, if I could get the word out right. Aiden English, it was just a sick-looking elimination. So Jordan was definitely going on through a tear in this match. Another spot to keep note of is that Heath Slater accidentally eliminated Rhino. So it looks like Heath Slater and Rhino, their team is eventually going to implode. I could see Rhino, turning, heel on Heath Slater. We could see a feud envelop between them. Certainly be interesting to watch. And then maybe after that, you could possibly have Slater challenge Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. I know that's an idea Delexman has suggested, and I think it would be interesting to watch and see. Seeing as how Miz is going to need some challengers for that IC title. It'd certainly be fun to watch. But Slater and Rhino, they're definitely going to be splitting up sooner rather than later here. But towards the end of the match, it came down to Connor, Tyler Breeze, who was nice to see him in there, and Zack Ryder. Eventually, Ryder was able to hit a missile drop kick that launched Breeze off the apron, so that eliminated him. And Ryder took Connor, hit him with a head scissors that knocked both him and Connor over the top rope. Ryder was able to sustain himself and remain the last man standing in the match. So the Hype Bros are your new number one contenders to face the new Wyatt family, who has a nice, sick-looking intro now. They've really retooled it, put Randy Orton in there. I love it. Can't wait to see Orton debut new ring gear, new look, what have you, as he transforms himself, as a full-fledged member of the Wyatt family. Really digging what they're doing with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. The one concern coming out of this, I heard, is the fact that Zack Ryder might have injured himself, possibly injured his leg, I believe. So we'll have to monitor that situation and see if the Hype Bros will even be able to challenge the Wyatt family, or if we'll have to somehow determine new number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It's all Battle Royale. These are always fun to watch, and like I said, it was nice to see Ryder get the win. Jason Jordan had some nice spots in there. They teased the split of Heath Slater and Rhino, so we got some storyline, development in this Battle Royale as well. We had Alexa Bliss come out for what was supposed to be her scheduled match against Deonna Purrazzo. It was nice to see her back on the main roster again, but Alexa pretty much said, "No, I'm not facing you. You're not even, worthy enough to face the SmackDown Women's Champion." And she pretty much threw her on the outside, and Alexa was pretty much going to walk off like that. But Becky Lynch would come down and say, you want a credible challenger? You want to face me for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Well, Becky's in her ring gear. Alexa's in her ring gear. Last week you said you couldn't go. Why don't we go right here, right now? And Alexa, like the good heel that she is, she's like, well, let me think about it. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to fight on my terms, on my time, which is what a heel does. She's not going to give into the babyface just like that. But, of course, Shane McMahon would come down to ringside, announce that Becky versus Alexa for the championship would happen right here, right now. And I like what they did here. They didn't really go too much in the ring. You don't want to give this, rematch away again on TV just like that. But there was a story that was being told in this match. Alexa, as the match progressed, she faked an ankle injury, and that was her excuse for getting counted out of the match. And then afterwards, of course, it was revealed she was just faking the ankle injury the whole time, just to avoid having to face Becky Lynch in this situation. And, Becky Lynch won via countout, but Alexa Bliss still retained her SmackDown Women's Championship. And they have a nice little brawl afterwards with Becky going after Alexa. And obviously that will continue the feud between them, which I've really been enjoying. I love what they're doing with the SmackDown Women's Division, really giving everybody, for the most part, something to do, whether you're Carmella, Natalya, Alexa, Becky. I would like to see Naomi be utilized more. I don't know what's going on with her, if she's injured or just have nothing for her. But yeah, I really like, what they're doing with SmackDown Women's Division compared to Raw, where it's just really just Sasha and Charlotte. We were supposed to see Emelina debut, but I don't even want to go off into that. But SmackDown Women's Division continues to excel in that category. And then finally, we round things out here with our main event. Solid main event, enjoyable match between The Miz versus Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper. Fatal four-way elimination match to determine the number one contender to the WWE World Championship. AJ Styles, of course, at commentary. And Daniel Bryan announced that if Maurice, the Wyatt family members, anybody gets involved in this match, that will lead to the elimination of that respective individual. So that made sense to add that stipulation, but these guys worked really, really good, solid main event match. Everybody got their time in to shine. Was really surprised to see it come down to, The Miz was actually the first individual eliminated. The Miz was eliminated as, look here. The Miz came down and Ambrose actually was the one to eliminate The Miz. Ambrose was able to counter Miz with an inside cradle, so Ambrose able to get some retribution. He lost last week to The Miz, thanks to the interference, of course, with James Ellsworth. But Ellsworth was nowhere in sight tonight as a result of being sick. Eventually, Luke Harper was the second individual to be eliminated after Harper attempted to pin Ziggler with a sit-out powerbomb. Harper came back and hit a running elbow to Ambrose, and Ziggler was able to hit a super kick to Harper, and Ambrose followed that up with the Dirty Deeds to eliminate Harper. Eventually, The Miz would come back down later on ringside, attempt to interfere, but Miz and Ziggler were able to take out The Miz, and as Ziggler super kicked The Miz, Ambrose sent Ziggler face first into the steel ring post, and Ambrose rolled Ziggler back into the ring, and Miz, as Ambrose was attempting to get back into the ring, Miz, of course, interfered again, held Ambrose's feet. Ambrose threw Miz into the barricade, but Ziggler was able to pick up the victory. Nice to see somebody win with a super kick, for once, rather than that being a setup transition move. And Ziggler is your new number one contender to face AJ Styles on December 27th. So yeah, solid show tonight. As SmackDown usually is, 2 hours is the way to go. And I look forward to watching next week. So yeah, those are my thoughts on SmackDown last night, guys. If I had to give a grade for last night's show, I would give it a B-. B- is the grade I'm giving SmackDown Live. So that is it for my SmackDown review, guys. Thank you all for watching. Remember to leave your comments down below in the description box. And I will, of course, be back up here for my Roadblock preview and predictions video. I will, of course, be attending that show live on Sunday. It'll be here at in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at PPG Paints Arena. Got my tickets. We'll be sitting in section 110. I'll be bringing my signs, so be sure to look for them. I will be back up here, of course, with my Roadblock review, looking maybe around midnight. So I want to give you my full thoughts on that as soon as the show is over, especially being live in attendance. And then, of course, I will have a day in the life video documenting my experience going to Roadblock. And then it's hard to believe the year is already coming to an end, but I have to get this out there tentatively. Wednesday, December 21st will be my live WWE Year in Review Awards video for 2016. We have 3 wonderful guests coming on for that. My good friend Mike Gregario, BSP Wrestling Show, friend Gene, NC Nerd Coalition, and Robbie One Kenobi. So we will have the categories listed in the description box, so feel free to leave your own picks for that video. And it should be a long video, but we'll have a good conversation. Be sure to bring popcorn, drinks, and whatever you have for it. So it should be a great conversation to discuss what it has been a pretty good year for wrestling in 2016. So that is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 21st, time to be announced. So that is it, guys, for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel, and be on the lookout for me in my next video. Until then, guys, take care and have a great rest of your day.